Good evening. Welcome to the meeting of the Plymouth Community School Board for June 4, 2019. If you'll join us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Our first item is to set the agenda. Any additions or corrections?
Yes, we've added resignations, retirement, some new appointments, a couple transfers of note, and some conferences, as well as some last minute fundraisers, all under the consent agenda. And we remove consideration of the crossing agreement.
With those additions, corrections, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Motion second. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. 1.3. One at a time. Are there members of the audience that would like to speak to the agenda this evening? Thank you for being here. We'll move on to section 2, consent agenda. Is there an item within the consent agenda that a board member would like to pull out and have considered separate? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion for approval of the consent agenda as presented. So moved. Motion second. Questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, under section 3, business transactions, 3.1 is our project update.
Happy to welcome Derek back to the board meeting to provide an update on Lincoln.
Hi everybody. Welcome. Last month, it's been rainy. So they've been working when they can. 4 days a week kind of impacts things a little bit, but we still have a big masonry crew out there. So we got 17 to 22 fluctuates here and there. So they're finishing up with the high walls for the choir, the orchestra, band room areas. Those should be wrapped up by the end of this week. They're working on bearing walls for the second floor of the academic wing. We have about 3/4 of that done. They're setting steel up there, getting ready for roof. Hopefully start roof here in the next 2 to 3 weeks over that area, get that all in the dry. They're continuing to prep and get floors ready for concrete. So again, all the slam on grades probably will be done by the end of this month, if not sooner. We're working on, we got some mezzanine floors, so they're working on there, getting the mechanical units are in there, so they're working on the piping, the ductwork, getting all those big pieces in. We poured the gym floor, so that whole section's done. We got the painter starting next week. He's going to start working in the locker room area, and we'll jump into the gym. What they'll do is they'll put a first course or coat of what's called block filler. So it kind of fills all the floors, so it's a smooth surface. Then the mason will come back and kind of, you start to see a lot more of the imperfections that are in the block, so they'll come in and clean them up, and then they'll put their first finish coat on. And after that, once everybody's done and out of the way, they'll come back in and put the last coat on, so you got for the end. The textures, there's the second floor decks up there. Those are all complete. I don't know if we got any pictures of some of them off. There's some of the steel going in on that second floor. You're standing right on top of those big grand staircase right there. So that's all going to be open right there. Then right behind that lift is another the elevator shaft. So a lot of that's decked already. They're cruising with the steel. This is the band choir rooms. Again, those are all high walls and they're 12-inch block, so it takes a little longer to lay than a normal 8-inch block that typically would go about there. There's the bathrooms right outside the gym. No, that's the E. That's the public bathrooms by the gym. Yeah. So this is the one side of it where plumbers in there getting roughed in. Again, that's all under roof, so when it does rain, we're not gonna lose too many more days now, because they can always fall back on the inside, because the plumbers got things ready for them. That last picture on the bottom, that is looking, let's see. Boilers, so back in there is where all the mechanicals go. They're getting that ready before it doesn't rain tomorrow. They'll probably have that for Friday. And again, that'll allow some of the mechanicals to start getting their equipment brought in. Everything's ready, set for delivery. I think most of that stuff is gonna show up in early July. So all the big equipment, long lead items, all that stuff's been addressed. A lot of the air handlers are already on site. So, yeah, when you get this far along, usually 90% of the time, all the long lead items are addressed and taken care of. So now it's just getting the work ready for them, getting in front of them so they can go to work. And that's to go by end of the month. We should have all the roof on that academic wing. Should have a connector piece from that boiler room into the academic wing so they can get the mains and all the piping up with tied in over there. So it's next couple months. It's going to be going pretty good. You're going to see a lot more changes now. All these walls are getting put in and finally getting finished up. And we might start some brick here soon on the exterior. I'm kind of holding off on that because we got more of a priority on bearing walls and getting the building enclosed or in the dry versus getting it closed. We can always temporarily enclose things. Keep it going. Any questions? Overall, it's going.
Going where?
It's going okay.
How much time did we lose with all the rain and?
We probably lost, I'd say, a good 2 or 3 weeks since spring. Lose a day every week, it's not good. But we have the manpower, so they can easily get back on track. Yeah, looking good. Thank you. I don't know if anybody wants to do that. It's like a tour at some point. Just kind of recommend wait until we get all the floors for it, so maybe like a couple months. Maybe before a meeting or something, we can go over there.
Have a summer before school kicks in.
Yeah, that'd be a great time, I think. Just kind of walk around for a half hour or so.
We wear hard hats, we have to. Right?
You could if you want, yes. You want to go during the day, then yes.
I just want to be able to do something so I can say I helped build it.
Sure.
Drive a nail, pick up a piece of garbage.
I don't use nails anymore. Sure, we need to screw
There's no nails in the whole building anywhere.
No.
Report that. Would you believe there's not one nail in the whole?
No, that's pretty cool.
Okay, don't leave me hanging.
No, I totally, I would have asked the same question, I'm with you. Maybe that's because we fix things like that.
I'll put a nail in or something. You have a question?
Can I ask if we're still on budget?
You sure on budget? Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, we haven't had any unforeseen conditions or some of the things that would pop up. Usually you find them
Are
early
you
on.
kidding? We're not even buying nails.
It's just glued together.
All right, thank you guys.
Thanks, Jared.
See you.
Just an update on the HVAC. Met with potential bidders recently and took them through, allowed them to see scope and some cash flow and things like that. So anticipate opening bids here soon and having a recommendation for that project.
Any questions? Okay, we'll move on to 3.2, consider directions for curriculum content adoption.
Yes, we're asking that the board tonight approve our curricular, our decision of our adoption for ELA for grades 6 through 8. Attached, you will see the process in which we followed along with the policies. But our team came together and reviewed lots of quality materials, but they've identified McGraw-Hill as their top selection, primarily with the connection with the online resources that can be done offline, so that students can download and then have access to that whether they have internet at home. So that's our recommendation. That's the
Heard the recommendation, I'll consider a motion.
Second.
A motion is second. Discussion or questions for Joe? You guys are easy today. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you. 3.3, consider K through 12 textbook fees.
Yes, connected to what Jill was just talking about, the fees for the curricular adoption in ELA, those new fees, which is actually less than before, are reflected on these textbook fees, along with the decrease in the price going from MacBook to iPad is also reflected on textbook fees. So that will be a nice savings for our families. So both are attached to board docs for your approval.
Heard the recommendation, is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Question?
So the fees are less, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm.
All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 3.4, adopt resolution 2019-4. Excuse me. I only have 1 minute. Determining significant negative lunch account balances to be paid.
That's really joking. Yeah.
Do you need a cough drop?
No.
Good.
Good.
Because I'm normal.
Okay, there is board policy 8500, and in following board policy and recommendations, board policy is basically based on federal guidelines and regulations, that any federal funding you cannot have bad debt in, and so you have to cover that bad debt as long as you determine that it's significant and non-collectible. And they have attempted on a few families to collect, and they've been notified, and we've tried to work out different things, and we just figured there's a few that we're just never going to get the funds from. So we have to cover it with either, they have to be covered with a non-federal funded account, which we are planning on it being funded from the operation. And it's $876 a month.
Heard the explanation, is there a motion to approve resolution 2019-4?
Second.
A motion and second to adopt resolution 2019-4. Questions? All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Consider an PCSC agreement.
This agreement is one that the board approves every year, details the financial parameters for the school district serving as the fiscal agent for the regional service center. And so it's presented to you again for your.
No changes.
Actually, there is an increase in what we will receive for the services that we provide as fiscal agent of $1,000 compared to what was previously. I think it hasn't changed in 20 years. So.
Heard the recommendation, is there a motion?
Second.
Oh, sorry. Questions? All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. 3.6, consider food bids.
Well, our service center organizes our food bids each year, along with several other school districts. This process ensures that we meet the regulations required of us under the federal program, which also requires the discovery body adopt those recommendations, both the bids as well as the minutes from the service center's executive board that approved the bids initially. So they are, they're presented to you for your approval. With both the bids and the minutes.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. 3.7, consider bonds for corporation treasurer, deputy treasurer, and NIESE administrative assistant.
Yes, we would ask you to approve these bonds for myself, Wendy Haynes as deputy treasurer, and Sherry Emery, who's the administrative assistant and handles funds of the Northern Indiana Education Service.
I know I asked this last year, but why did we always used to do this at the first of the year. Why did that change? I can't remember.
State Board of Accounts changed when.
Oh, well, there you go. Is that just to line up with our fiscal year as opposed to?
Line up with
calendar?
fiscal year versus when our budget is. Yeah. Makes a lot of sense.
Okay. Heard the recommendation. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Consider school resource officer agreement.
This agreement is up for renewal. It was previously a 3-year agreement. It does reflect an increase in what we have to pay the city, and that is to better reflect the increases that the police department has provided to their police officers. And so over the past 3-year agreement, they did a big study, and officers were not comparable to other communities of similar size, and so they had some changes. They waited until our agreement ended and was up for renewal before they did that. It's still proportionate to the time that Officer Height serves the school system compared to what she does the city, or gets her assignment. That's really the only change from the previous agreement to this one. So it's presented to you for your approval, please.
Heard the explanation and recommendation. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second?
Motion is second. Questions or discussion? All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Consider MOU regarding transportation services.
Well, we have for several years offered our bus transportation to the city, and particularly from the Parks Department, for utilization of particular events that they organize. Well, we've done this for a while. We felt that it was time to formalize it in the form of an MOU, just to identify the vendors and billing and things like that. So, on this body's approval, we sent to City Council. City Council. I'm sure the park board popped in my head too. The City Council.
And the park board.
So, yes.
So, okay, let's see. I have a question, but let's get it on the table. So, is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Is there a second? So, was this driven by some misunderstanding or just a desire to have it right?
Probably both. There were some delayed billings and miscommunications, and so I'll help clarify that and give everybody a vision.
I've always understood an MOU as an agreement to agree. It's really not enforceable. So is this as far as we're going to take this, or?
I think we'll have, yeah, I think it's as far as we'll take it.
That's fine.
Yes.
Okay. We have motion and second. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. 3.1, consider moving the customer agreement.
As it's done annually at this time, our relationship with Marshall County Blue Area Festival is a good one, a positive one, and this agreement it shows no changes from the past few years, but it's one that this body considers annually. So it's presented to you again for your approval, please.
Is there a motion? Second. She's going to learn pretty quickly. I don't hear very well. So.
Just yell, Sam. Just yell, Sam.
Any questions? All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Be here before you know
Sorry?
it. It'll be here before you know
All
it.
right. All right. Moving on to section 4, superintendent remarks.
Well, as a follow-up from the previous month, I did mention that there'll be some positions that we won't be filling. And right now, at this point, those don't require actions because they're not eliminating any people. They're not eliminating an actual position, just like, for example, looking to eliminate one English teacher, math, Spanish at the high school, potentially a science one as well, not eliminating those programs. That's why it's not requiring board action. But I did want to provide you that update that we are looking to eliminate those as well as an elementary position. Those are based on efficiencies as well as we lost some enrollment. And so when we do that, we want to make sure that we're still being fiscally responsible to the community and ensuring that we're doing the right things here. So, excuse me, I missed one too. There's also a position at Riverside we're replacing. So, that's how we're moving forward into the next school year with that. There still could be others. Those would be more driven by the ability to fill hard to fill positions. But we're still seeking those replacements at this point.
So, not to mince words, but I see the pens flying over here. So, I heard the word eliminate, but it's not elimination. We're not filling.
We're not filling is the better way to phrase that. Thank you.
Because eliminating does sound correct.
And then not last student day was yesterday. Last teacher day was today. Appreciate everyone's efforts to make this school year a good one. And we had our final wrap-up meetings with teachers. There were several luncheons in each building celebrating the school year and the work that they did. We had our classified breakfast this morning as well, where we were able to recognize those who've been with us for 10, 15, 20, 25 years. It was as well as our retirees. It was a fun morning, and again, just want to thank everyone for their efforts to contribute to our school system, to our kids, and to our community. It continues to be a great place to be and work, and confident in what we're doing and the direction we're heading. So, thank you for that. Commencement is this Friday. It'll be an exciting evening. Had Robert provide a sheet to each of you just with some directions. Verbally, we'll report to door 7 and meet up with the high school administration at 7:10. That's just outside the gym. 7:10. As well as just kind of an outline of the program and board members' involvement as far as distributing diplomas. So, it'd be great. And a lot of fun. It'll be nice and cool that night as well. So. Next meeting will be Tuesday, July 2nd at 7 o'clock. We will have an executive session that will begin at 6.
Any questions for Andy?
I'm just curious, how many do we have graduating from Plymouth this year? Approximately?
Those final numbers are still being determined as we evaluate final grades and credits and all that stuff. So that will be released here in the next couple of days.
I'm just curious. Larry was the principal of mine up here.
Yeah?
And I'm interested in finding out what it's gone from 78 to 2019.
I'll give you an estimate here just to see.
Any other questions? Anything from board members? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carol, question.
I'm so sorry. It's a short meeting. This is kind of a stretch, and I do understand we have to look only at agenda items, but do our schools here allow people to make donations to someone's private launch account? That within anybody's knowledge.
Yes.
I was just at a meeting in Indianapolis where a millionaire was willing to pay for lots of it. The school rejected it.
Rejected it, you said?
rejected letting him make the donation because they thought it was going to interfere with funding. But here, if somebody so desires to bring forth money, you can take it.
That's actually why I showed up, because I wanted to find out anyone who has an address at the hotels, any children, I'd like to cover their lunches. I'll find a way to cover them if they can't cover them. You know what I'm talking about? So I'll be doing for.
So if you want to direct that $1 million in our direction.
We weren't on close personal terms, but he did talk to me and was that, I mean, he's really upset, thinking that he wanted to do something positive one-to-one, and I mean, I don't know how they're funding this, I have no idea what it would have impacted, but
Anything else? Did I already get a motion to say? All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned, thank you.